All right, gang, let's get into this. Irrelevant rappers talking about the rap game.
Ish
As
is
per
interesting
usual.
anymore. Commercial rap is dead, and I'm here for it. Ish was trash from the jump. Well, hold on. F how cool you dress. S sound good too. Some of y'all sound more trash than what you trying to imitate. I may sound like a hater, but shoot, you need a hater to tell the truth. We don't need another big three. F that. And goes on to say, OG's got no respect for the younger generation. New generation don't care about the craft. There's a space where they can learn from each other. And there's a couple of things that we can talk about here. Now,
Oh, this is Denzel Curry saying all this nonsense? Come on, man. Come on, man.
some guy, I have to read one of these comments. Some guy really said, Osama-san, Che, Cardi, Lone, Zucchini. Dog, I don't know if I'm gonna listen to somebody called Zucchini. I actually know most of these guys. I didn't listen to the Che guy. All dropped interesting projects this year. I don't know what bro is on about. I'm gonna keep it a stack. UK Underground are more fire than the US one right now. But he's talking about commercial rap. None of these people are really commercial like that. And I think he's got a point. Like, first I want to address the OGs and the younger generation and the new gen and the craft. I'll give you an example. I do have respect for Osama-san because he came up with this guy Netspend. This guy Netspend, what the hell is he doing? The last two things I've seen him doing is like crying, like that thing leaking of him crying over his girl. And what else? I have not heard anything related to Netspend music since he dropped that.
Dude, the nigga Netspend has been heavy on the fashion tape. He thinks he's like a new fashion model for the... I don't know what this youngin is doing, but he thinks he's doing the fashion tape. Man thinks he's Calvin Klein of the underground. He thinks he's the new... I don't even know what... I mean, I can't lie, his swag is pretty decent. It's decent, but enough to stop rapping? I don't know about that.
A piece of trash that was his debut. And let's be honest, even if you're a Netspend fan, you know that thing was a piece of trash. What was it? Yeah, Bad Kid. That was a bad project. We're not talking the good type of badass. Actually, he did drop something in August, which seemed to have done... Okay, so I gotta check that out. All right, so he's dropped recently. Okay, respect. No disrespect coming from my end here. But when he's talking about OGs, what are OGs going to respect? And you can kind of consider there has to be a new age of OGs, which I look at as the early 2010s, right? The OG of Baby Keem, who Baby Keem is not even really in the mix with many of his peers right now, would be Kendrick Lamar. So Kendrick Lamar is his OG. You've got J. Cole, he's with JID, but JID's been here since like, what, 2017? So JID is almost 10 years...
What is it? What? Yo, the song. Why are you putting up a photo of JID showering real quick right now? What is this, bro? Chill out, bro.
Into the game himself. But let's just say that we've got J. Cole, JID, we've got Drake and everybody. So Drake is being an OG to anybody that gets some motion, has some talent, and he brought out Fake Mink at Wireless Festival in the UK when he was bringing out a ton of people in London. Then you've got Travis. Travis put on, what's his name? I can't believe his name. Don Toliver. Whoa. He put on Don Toliver. So they're doing well. Also, Sheck West, of course. But like I said, now we're going back to 2018, Astroworld era. That's when both of these guys got brought on. So Fago, it's like, we don't really know the situation there. And Yeet also, Drake, was kind of his OG, and there was a strong relationship there. Now Yeet's OG is like Justin Bieber, which, not to take anything away from him, but Yeet is clearly somebody that's doing very well. So I don't understand why Denzel Curry would say that's not interesting. Like commercial rap as a whole, it is kind of depressing and dull because like we said, like on the Hot 100, it's really not going that crazy. The new generation, I think a lot of them do care about the craft. Like if we...
Dude, tell me when's the last time you knew anybody that was on the Hot 100? Like, name me the top 5 tracks right now stunt on Billboard. Tell me the last 5 songs stunt right now on Billboard. You can't. And then you know why you can't? Because I don't even think the music game moves like that no more. I don't even think having a number one is the way it was anymore. Because once we learned from 6ix9ine that you could essentially buy yourself a number one hit, I don't think the number one charts has any sort of validity or respect anymore for that. It's like being able to walk into a store and buy a Grammy. It loses its respect. It loses that sort of racist authority that the music awards have. You know what I mean? So it's not really the same. So we're in a new era now where it's like, I don't think anybody really cares about anything. I think it's like once you discover something, you care about it. But unless it's on your radar, I don't really think anyone really cares what anyone's doing. I think everyone has their own little luscious bubbles and everyone's making music. But I don't really think anything is bleeding into anybody else's, and I don't really think people care, actually, to be honest with you.
You just name a couple of names. Offer it. Like, Yeet clearly cares about the craft, right? We can agree on that. Then who else do we got? We've got Big X the Plug. Clearly cares about the craft, right? Ray Vaughn. Honestly, Joey Badass stopped responding to that guy, and we haven't heard from him since. We've got other people like, who else? Ian, I think he cares about the craft, although I think he's still, like, catching his footing. Jello, what happened to him? But I have not heard anything from Jello, Leangelo.
Oof. That was one of those, like, a historic come-up, dude. That is what you call a historic come-up. And then since then, yeah, he's right. Man's put out 2 tracks and then said, I'm gonna go cold for that. Like, bro, do you even know how the music business works, dude? You should have kept going.
low ball in quite a while. Nino Pade is also somebody that you can say is he's messing with the he's somebody that actually takes his craft serious. 4Bats as well, but how much of a rapper is 4Bats really, I guess you could say. But yeah, like I said, Big X the Plug, a Cash Cobain, for instance, these people take music seriously. It's just that I think Denzel Curry is reminiscing on a time that we will never get again in commercial rap. And I don't think it was trash from the jump, to be honest. Now, is this shots? It could be interpreted as shots. Nah, I don't think it is.
They're not shots. The game, like I'm saying, the game has just changed, bro. It's not what it used to be. So if you're talking about, oh, the good old days, the good old 2010s when you used to come home and download your mixtapes off of internet sites, those days are gone. Okay? And let them be gone. All Denzel Curry is doing right now is showing us why he's unk, dude.
Actually shots. But in my head, when I thought F how cool you dressed, I thought ASAP Rocky, and then I thought the Raider Clan / ASAP Rocky beef back in the day. If you know, you know. That, can you believe that thing is almost 15 years old now? 15 years old. So if you were there during that era, congratulations, you're old, you're on status. And Denzel Curry is somebody that has a great, like, he has a good lens to look at this through because he's had hits online. He's had online hits, and he's been independent for, I think, throughout his career. He's still streaming very, very well. Like, for instance, he's streaming better than Blueface, and Blueface is more of a quote-unquote mainstream artist. But for his last project, I didn't even listen to his last project. I didn't even know that it came out, which depresses me a little bit. I'm disappointed in myself for that. He had, yeah, King of the Mischievous South, man, he had a lot of people on here, but he put together a project of people that he messes with.
Why is that album cover a blatant copy of ASAP Rocky, bro? Come on, man, quit disrespecting the game, bro.
And this streamed well. Like, he got,
quit saying that there's nothing interesting, there's nothing going on in the mainstream, there's nothing happening, and then you go ahead and you steal ASAP Rocky's album cover, bro. Get out of here, dude.
With Mexican OT on there. And I think there's rappers on this list that he worked with, like Tia Corinne, Mike Dimes. I don't know what he's been doing, really, but I'm glad to see that he's still doing his thing. And the last project that I really paid attention to was Melt My Eyes, See Your Future by Denzel Curry. But Denzel Curry is somebody that's had internet hits like what's that one song? There's Walkin', of course, but there's Ultimate. That was one of the biggest songs of the 2010s. Online, at least Vine era, all of that. And he's somebody that can rap, but also can make good music, has been in the game since he was like 15, 16 years old, around there. And he's right in that commercial rap, it's just, like I said, rap is so disconnected. Like, who did I mention? We got Big X the Plug, who's killing it right now. We've also got a rapper like Two Hollis, he's killing it. Now, commercially, he's not huge and gigantic, but musically...
Yeah, but I wouldn't even claim that Two Hollis is rap. Two Hollis is that new wave of artists now, of like this electronic sort of new age. Like, you could blend in Two Hollis with like Snow Strippers. You know what I mean? Like, there's that new wave of artists that are doing that electronic thing. But like I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm just telling y'all right now, it's like rap is now niched down into super niches. There's the niche, but then there's the super niche, where everyone is just doing whatever it is that they're doing. If man wants to do completely samba rap, where they're just rapping over samba beats, there's a whole lane for that, and that's where the pockets of music are going. It's basically the same idea of like interest media, how social media went from being social to interest media now, where it's like you only get shown things on your feed that you're interested in. It's the same thing with music. It's all been dropped into pockets. It's like if you don't care about BX the Plug, you'll never see or hear anything BX the Plug related. If you only care about Two Hollis and that genre, you'll only see that on your feed. That's what it is now. Everything has been segmented into groups based on people's attention span and interests.
Speaking, he's doing his thing, but this is more like kind of like electronic mix of rap and a little bit of like the underground rap song of like the remnants of Rage, if you want to call it that. That guy's relatively new. We had Nino Pade, who's more of like, I wouldn't say traditional rapper, but he doesn't have that like commercial spark. So I think personally, the music that's coming out right now, the diversity of it and the amount of it is greater than what we had in the last time we had a big three, which was like 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Like, yeah, sure, it sounds like, if we look back at it, it sounds like we had a lot more, but really right now, especially if you're looking for stuff, there's plenty of great music. It's just not catching commercially. And this goes back to the superstar argument that I had years ago, which was the last time we had a superstar was over 10 years ago. Travis Scott debuted in 2025 with Rodeo. Like, if you don't call days before Rodeo or anything like that, 2025, I think it was September. It's been over 10 years. There has not been a superstar since then. There was a Jack Harlow who came in and it looked like that was about to happen for him, but a couple of things got in the way, I guess. Part of that being momentum, but that's just one example. Who else? Nobody has been able to breach superstar. And even if you talk about Playboi Carti, I would think I know for a fact globally, Playboi Carti has some of the biggest appeal right now of any artist, but he came out in 2015. I'm willing to say that 2017 was when he really came into the game with Magnolia as a mainstream act. So you could say like that was his debut tape as well. So if you want to take out Travis Scott, you can say Playboi Carti's the most recent superstar we've had. And even that is 8 years ago. Lil Baby is not as popular globally as...
Right. Then the only artist that would be left that you could say is superstar, that came out and could say is superstar, would be Yeet.
Playboi Carti. I promise you this, right hand to God. Everybody will agree with me, unless you're just clueless. I'm telling you, like, Lil Baby feels bigger, but he's not. And that's it. Who else? Who else has come out since then? Nobody. Gunna, come on now. Gunna globally is not as big as Playboi Carti. Gunna, like, you could just see Playboi Carti's numbers and the amount of hype that was surrounding the project that released this year, music, 2024 music, then 2025 music, then I Am music. So he's the one that we've got, and he's tried to bring in like a Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely. So I would say maybe that's like the big three of this new gen, because a lot of these people like the Osama Sons and Chase and things like that, they were heavily inspired by Whole Lotta Red era. But even commercially speaking, the biggest songs that Carti had were due to the collaborations with The Weeknd, like Rather Lie. His album is still performing well streaming wise, but hits, commercial hits, solo, he doesn't really have many of those. Partially because his music is not palatable to like the pop listeners of America, especially like country now. You have country, reggaeton, and what else? Like any type of Latin music, because you got Peso Pluma, he's not reggaeton. He's what's the name of the type of music that he makes? I forgot what it's called. I would like for Denzel Curry to expand on this more. Maybe he's doing an interview or something like that, or
he doesn't need to expand on it more. I think he just is completely just out of the loop. Like I've been saying throughout the whole video, I think he just doesn't understand about the segmentation of music nowadays. And so it's like Denzel Curry still has his fans and no one's taking anything away from him, but we're just saying that in terms of the commercial aspect of music isn't commercial like that anymore, dude. It's more just like everyone is in a sense just like in their own lane, making their own money, getting their own amount of streams. You don't have to compare your streaming numbers with somebody else's streaming numbers. So I think that whole entire era of music is dead. We don't do that anymore. You like what you like and that's it. If your favorite artist can make a living off of what he does, then so be it. Do you know what I mean?